Hi guys, I'm Jelly Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to do my very small October wrap-up. I only read 4 books in the month of October, but 3 of them were 4 stars, so I'm very happy with the quality of reading I have done in October. The first book I want to talk about is actually the one I gave the lowest rating, and that was only 3 stars, so it's not even that bad. And that is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. The Woman in Cabin 10 is an adult mystery thriller novel. It follows Lo Blacklock, who's a journalist and suddenly gets attacked in her own apartment. But she gets this assignment where she has to go on a luxury cruise ship for a week and kind of write a review on it because she is a travel journalist. But then something happens and Lo witnesses a murder, or at least that's what she thinks it is. She witnesses a woman being thrown overboard, blood being on the balcony door, and she gets all paranoid about it. She questions the whole crew, but no one seems to be missing from the boat, neither crew nor passengers. So Lo is trying to investigate this mystery and try to figure out what in the hell is going on this cruise ship. I don't read a lot of mysteries or thrillers, and I honestly really enjoyed this one. I liked reading it. I went through it very quickly. It's a very fast-paced book, and I really wanted to know what was happening, if Lo was imagining things, if she was going crazy, if things were actually happening. I feel like the ending got slightly ridiculous. The plot twist was also slightly ridiculous, but I really enjoyed it overall. I just think the whole thing was a bit too ridiculous, a bit too unrealistic for my taste, but I definitely didn't see it coming. It was super unpredictable, and that is why I rated 3 stars in the end. The next book has a bit of a story, and that is The Start of Me and You by Emery. I love Emery as an author. I love the first book I read by her, which was When We Collided, and The Start of Me and You was no different. After I read it, I rated 5 stars. I loved it so much, but it's been more than a month since I read it, and now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I have no clue what happened in this book. I couldn't tell you. I have to look up the synopsis on Goodreads because I cannot remember anything about this book. Which is why I just lowered the star rating to 4 stars, because I don't think I can give this book 5 stars if I can't even remember it a month later. The Start of Me and You is about Paige Hancock, who has lost her boyfriend in a drowning accident 2 years ago. But after 2 years, Paige is finally ready to give life another chance. She first wants to get her old crush Ryan to fall in love with her. And after that, she wants to join a club. She basically wants to convince everyone she's normal. But then Ryan's cousin Max moves to town and he convinces Paige to join the quiz ball team. Paige's whole plan gets thrown for a loop and nothing is working out as she thought it would be working out. And I want to tell you my thoughts. I just can tell you I really enjoyed it, but after all it was not as memorable as I thought it was going to be, and that is very sad for me. But I really loved this book when I read it. I thought it was very special. That's all I remember. I cannot tell you more about this because I honestly forgot all about it. The next book I read was 3 Dark Crowns by Kendare. This is the first book in the 3 Dark Crowns series. I thought it was going to be a duology at first, but after that the amount of books has been upgraded, so there are going to be a lot more books in this, but I really enjoyed this first one. I gave it 4 stars, and this book is about 3 sisters who have to duel each other to the death for one of them to become queen. It's about Mirabella, who has the power of fire, Catherine, who is a poisoner, and Arsinoe, who is a naturalist and has the ability to bloom red roses. Throughout this book, you get to see all of these sisters' perspectives and you really get to know them, and I developed an affinity for basically all of them. I really liked all of their personalities and seeing their different lifestyles and what they thought about the other sisters and their communities. It was very different for all of them, and I really enjoyed seeing this world building. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait for other books in this series to see how the world is going to develop from there, because there are different parts in this world that we haven't explored yet. I think my favourite character in this book had to be Catherine or Arsinoe, but definitely not Mirabella, I know that much. I really loved the parts from Catherine and her life as a poisoner and how she really can't stand poison. She's supposed to be able to ingest poison and not get sick from it, but she gets super sick from it. And it's very interesting to see how she is not the average poisoner. There are some plot twists in this that I definitely did not see coming. Obviously I saw them coming towards the ending somewhat, and I was like, oh, this is definitely going to happen. But throughout the book, I did not expect some of the plot twists that happened in this. And I really cannot wait to see how the story goes on from here. I want to know who is going to be queen, because that was not discussed in this book. That is not the point where we get to in this book, so I'm definitely picking up the next one because I need to know what happens. And then the last book I managed to read during October is We Were Liars. And as you can see, there are all of these tabs in there. And there is going to be a book discussion with my boyfriend on this. Because yes, I read this with him. I cannot tell you a lot about this because this is a short mystery book. And the plot has to be vague because you get spoiled very quickly for this book. I think by now everyone has read it. I have read it before. This was a reread for me, but I really wanted my boyfriend to read it and he did not see any of it coming. So that was really fun. And you will see more of that in our discussion video that is coming this upcoming month. But what We Realize is it's about Candace, who every summer goes to this island that her family owns. Her family is very vague. They're all supposed to be perfect, have no problems. But throughout this book, you quickly discover that is not the case. And everyone in this family does have problems, has their own mysteries. And Candace, again, spends the summer in this book with her cousins and this boy named Gat, who she is absolutely in love with. And that is basically it. We follow their adventures and we find out what happened to Cadence after she hit her head and basically lost her short-term memory. So that is very interesting and you get to see all of that throughout this book. The orange tabs are basically foreshadowing because this was a reread for me and I knew what was going to happen. So the orange tabs are foreshadowing, which we are going to be talking about in the discussion video if you're interested in that. And the blue one was a quote we really liked. So yeah, I did all of that. We are going to be talking about that more in the discussion video. So these are the 4 books I managed to read during the month of October. Let me know down below if you read any of these books and what you think about them. Or what did you read in October? I would love to know. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!